just encouraging his craziness.
I love that scene where Buzz finally lands. He's like, Jesus, I did it. Like he was blinking really fast. Like, I'm alive.
He's in such disbelief. Those eyes are everywhere. Look at him. He got fish. He's having a mental breakdown right now.
I proved you wrong. I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
You know, people are looking at Buzz Lightyear right now. No, I'm sorry, not Buzz Lightyear. Just simply call the man Lightyear.
Being marooned. Our first hyperspeed test flight is a go.
Who are you talking to?
No one.
You were narrating again.
I was not.
Buzz looked different. He looks more fleshed out. He's got like actual texture and nice lighting. I mean, his hair actually looks like hair and not plastic. You know, he looks like a human being, and the environment around him looks like an actual environment. And that's because a lot of people are saying Pixar has come a long way since the decades of reaching up to Lightyear. You know, Lightyear is, how about like over 3 decades before, basically 30 years after
Toy Story?
Where everything started. And that is with Toy Story.
Star Command, come in.
Child's plaything!
You are a sad, strange little man.
Oh, you don't know the half about that, but we're getting that in a little bit. But, you know, one of the reasons why Buzz Lightyear looks different is because this is supposed to be, you know, the quote-unquote real Buzz Lightyear. This is the character that actually influenced the toy. Again, it's been 3 decades, and some people say that, you know, if you talk about that long ago with technology such as this, CG animation, this is downright primitive at this point now. So we're talking about it in that way where, I mean, it's a stark difference between then and now, as you can see. It's been over 10 years since I've watched Toy Story. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the first one. Yeah, sure. Seriously. It's been over 10 years since I watched Toy Story because, I mean, there's been so many other Toy Stories coming out.
Sure.
True. But on top of that, we've been watching a lot of the movies.
They made such a huge improvement by the second movie. There's no reason to go back and rewatch the first one.
Or is there? We'll talk about that because, you know, looking at Toy Story and how it is, you know, during the time that it was made, there's been so much technological advancement that you look at this and you say, for what people say was a masterpiece back then, and still say today that it still has that status. Some people say it's a damn near perfect film, if not a perfect film. It's a perfect movie. People have actually gone on to say, like, you told me 3 movies to name that were like flawless. Toy Story would be one of them. Not a thing in that movie's bad. Nothing. Oh shit. Oh, maybe it's been a while since I've seen that. Maybe I need to take that back. Yeah, I watched it and thought to myself, so somebody who loved this movie so much, how would I feel about it after watching all these other Pixar movies and watching it today for myself? So we're going to sit back and watch. And I will say right now, that yes, there are a lot of things that do not work. There are a lot of things that have not aged at all with Toy Story. But does that have anything to say about the film? Let's go ahead and take a look. Now, for those of you who have not seen Toy Story in a while, I need a refresher. I don't know how you need one. It's a very simple story, but we'll go over it anyway. A kid named Andy loves his toy, Woody the Cowboy. And then on his birthday, he gets the new and hottest thing out there, a Buzz Lightyear toy. Of course, Woody starts feeling a little threatened by his presence as Andy starts to love this new toy. I mean, the whole room's decorated with Buzz Lightyear stuff when it used to be all about Woody the Cowboy, man. Only thing is that they could probably get along and make something work, but Buzz thinks that he's a real spaceman when everybody else knows their place and knows what they are. If they're not careful, this new toy is going to get them in trouble with the kid next door, a sadistic little brat named Sid who loves to mutilate and torture toys, blow them up and change their body parts and do all kind of stuff with them. So can they avoid Sid while also learning to get along with each other? Well, let's go ahead and take a look as we start talking about this movie right here. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, as we get into this discussion, And I'm curious to see how you guys feel about this. Because for me, I feel like if you look at the animation alone, I'm talking about, you don't get distracted by the nice characters and the voice acting and the story and everything. Cut the sound down and look at the animation all by itself. I would say a lot of this animation, this is what I'm talking about, things don't work. It is the animation that did not age well. This was a very ambitious thing to do. Some people said downright stupid to try that. Nobody want to see them damn CG characters moving around up there. But they had a vision, man. In considering what they were doing at Pixar and what they were making things for, you have to take into consideration a lot of the limitations that were put in front of Pixar and how they didn't even think about it. They said, let's just keep going and make something that's pretty much groundbreaking, but not just based on technology. Let's make something that the audiences will love too. Having said that and being able to excuse their limitations in technology and having the understanding that we do, shit is still pretty creepy. It's the human designs in this do not hold up, man. The moment we see Andy, and he shuddered a little bit. The moment we see Andy don't look no different than the toys over there. Andy, what you think got jowls?
He has jowls, as I've never seen a 9-year-old with those before.
Andy looked like he's throwing nuts for the winner, man.
He looks like Marlon Brando.
Yeah. Andy looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, the humans have a little bit of texture mapping on them, but for the most part, the toys are animated way better than the humans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he looks more like a toy than the toys.
Yeah.
They talk about how the toys are replicated. That's one of the things that really just throws Buzz off when Buzz sees that there are other Buzz Lightyears out there. His mind up completely. But when you see Andy, it looked like Andy got a line of toys out there too. Andy's friends that come to his birthday party where he gets Buzz Lightyear, they're all clones of him.
Everyone in the living room, it's almost time for the presents.
Shit.
It just even the soldiers like, God damn. Andy got a friend that came over, and for diversity, they just took Andy and put him in blackface. Black Andy right there.
Yeah, it's Black Andy. Yep.
There's some things that are also just kind of wrong, some things that just don't work, and people try to let it. They give it an excuse. They try to let it slide, and it's like, no, that's a flaw. Because what they try to make excuses for are the characters in their blinking. Characters in here don't blink at the same time. Now it is a thing, if you blink, you might miss it. You might even have to slow it down. But these characters, their eyelids, they go at different speeds.
Do they?
Only it sounds like
Oh,
yeah, now I'm gonna scroll through this. Look at that, bloop, bloop, bloop. They're like chameleons.
Yeah.
They're like lizards or something.
You're just like, wait, what?
Yeah. Like it really, if you look like, again, I'm gonna slow it down for y'all. Y'all can see, like throughout this whole movie, they got lizard eyes, man. They keep like those eyes can never blink at the same time. If they do, it's just because they timed the right way. So there's even points here when you stop, like if you stop on the right frame, like half those characters are derpy as look at them. Like they go both
like
Peep
Slinky.
and Slinky, yeah, they both, yeah. Cause I stopped and I was looking, cause when I edit this, I go slow sometimes. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with them? I tell you how I started noticing. This is how I knew it was a flaw, cause they're gonna tell you, they're gonna say, well, man, look, you're just trying to find something because those characters, the toys are blinking like that to separate them from the humans. To show you that, it's supposed to be visually funny, it's humorous, and maybe toys just don't blink the same way as humans do. And they only made them blink so they wouldn't just be staring at the movie the whole time like this and looking crazy.
Dead-eyed expressions.
Yeah, dead-eyed expressions. But, the first one I noticed was not a toy. And that's when I knew, I said, this technology is just off. First one that was doing that was Andy.
You saved the day again, Woody.
Now, that's because I looked at it, I was like, look at it. Yeah, shit. Look like Andy got in the mom's medicine cabinet over there.
Oh, well, derpy.
Yeah,
Derpy Andy.
What I'm about to say is going to be blasphemy for some people right here. But, I'm just going to tell you, some of this looks like asylum animation. You know, I know that you would not ever dare compare Pixar with Asylum, but I am. Some of this shit, it actually looks like for Pixar, what we think about Pixar today, a lot of this movie looks like the cheap European knockoff of a Pixar movie. Mm-hmm. You know, because I look at some of these things in here, Andy's little sister, her animation is like she's one of the characters. She's one of the characters. You know,
she's gross looking in the movie.
Yeah, they like she ain't a main character. She ain't in this movie as long. So her animation is not even that good, man. Her animation is actually pretty stiff.
Say goodbye to the wife and tater tots.
Oh yeah.
And notice she ain't nothing but Andy with a dwarf body and a blonde Jufro. Mm-hmm. There are some things that the technology just would not allow them to do. No matter how skilled those artists were, no matter how well you could draw, no matter how well you could animate, this technology said, I don't give a shit. It ain't happening. You can't do it yet. And one of the things that they could not do at the time was animals.
Yeah, that dog.
That dog is horrible.
That dog looks like Asylum.
Yeah.
Yes, completely. Scud, Sid's dog, man. They were very limited on how they could move him. You see Scud, man, and like Scud, he can't even do one of the simplest things that an animal does, that a character does. He can't even lay down. That dog paws. Dog paws like mushroom caps.
Yeah.
He just lays down with his paws
It's like
up.
a dog action figure.
It does.
That only moves at the joints, so you can just stick his legs out straight.
Yeah, it looks like one of them linguini leg plushies that they got. You know, you put a plushie down, they just go flat. It looks like the dog couldn't even lay on his side. And I tell you why he couldn't lay on his side. Because they didn't know how to animate him getting up from that. So they just had his hands lay on his stomach, flat like that. And even when he moves, man, the movement is awkward. When he tries to get up. Oh, well, shit, I ain't even got him getting up. Because you know why? They didn't want to animate that shit. That's why. They had him look up.
That was it.
And that was it. And the next shot, he's already standing up.
Can you animate the dog standing up?
Nope. I can have his head raised up. Huh? Scud is the worst looking character in the movie. Scud looks inbred.
Yeah.
Eyes too big and way too close.
Head is swollen. Got
that big top jaw and that little bottom jaw.
Well, the ears don't look like they're attached to him.
Oh, yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
It clipped on or something in the back.
It looks like he's wearing Invisalign on his teeth. Like, you know, when they try to animate him, it looks worse. That's why you don't see Scud move a whole lot. Because when there's a couple of scenes where he's moving and it looks terrible. They got that scene where he's chasing the toys down the street, and that run is short. And that's why they said fuck it, because you don't see a whole lot of it. It's short, but even that short span of time, back then we didn't notice. Today, very noticeable. If you're not, I'm gonna show you this again. Look at how he runs. His front legs back, back legs up. No animal runs like that. If they do, take them to the vet and put them down now, because that dog's in pain or he's mentally ill.
Maybe he's got arthritis.
Yes, that's why I say it's
stiff. He's very stiff.
It's time. If your dog moves like that, it's time for him to go. Either he's in pain, or he's inbred too much, or he's mentally ill. But they would not animate a dog like that today.
No, of course not.
Shit, I have a book where Disney talks about how to animate animals. If you did that back in the day, they would fire your ass on the spot.
I think, matter of fact, they knew that the animation for Scud was so bad, they're like, okay, we got to prove for the second one. And they had to go for Andy's dog. And he's moving around a lot better.
Yeah. They know exactly.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of makeup.
So if Asylum says, man, our animation's as good as Pixar's, well, as long as you don't say what period.
Just an asterisk.
If you just keep it as that, sure, technically.
At one time. We're as good as Pixar.
That one time, sure. Okay. Shit, there were parts where I wondered if the characters were meant to look as crazy as they do.
Hey, Woody, come on.
That's been
Oh, he
memed.
makes a bunch of faces like that throughout it.
Yeah. So many memes and gifs of Woody from this movie.
There was so many times they tried to these. God bless these animators, these people who, if you're working for Pixar and Disney, you are the top of your game, man. People consider you to be masters of your craft, but these characters right here.
Hey, Woody, come on.
Sometimes they just couldn't do nothing with him, man. He look like a little old woman picking up her social security check. Look at that.
Is it ready?
You know, when Woody comes to life in this, you know, that's when everything starts to take a turn for the better. Not that it was ever bad, but you know, you really just you starting to get into the characters, and the characters of the toys start looking like, you know, they start looking better suited to the technology. You know, everything is, you know, because toys are meant to be smoother and more plastic looking than humans are, and that's what the technology looked like at the time. You know, despite the animation not aging well, after watching this again, and I have to say that I still hold what I say about this movie from back in the day, that I believe that this is a perfect movie. I believe that this is
between the writing and the acting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think what pushes over to being perfect is that it starts as just a comedy full of toy puns, and it's just kind of taking you back with nostalgia. It's like, oh yeah, that's clever, that's cute, until it gets into this whole existential crisis, and you are not expecting that.
No, you're not expecting a whole lot of things with this movie. This movie's all over the place in the best way. You know, like I said, man, the humans are a small part of this, and the writers and directors and director and all the, you know, the story people, you know, the animators, they know it. So, you know, looking at this, man, that's why you look at it and say, yeah, when it starts getting to the story of the toys, which is the focus, it feels more natural. You know, when you learn about this, it took them 3 years to get this script together.
Multiple rewrites too.
Yeah, and you know, the thing that really makes this, because I think that this is a flawless film. I think it's 100% perfect, man. But that's just me. You know, and everybody agrees on the same thing. But I love this movie, man. And like you said, the writing and the characters in here are amazing. And the reason why is that mostly goes to Jeffrey Katzenberg. Jeffrey Katzenberg, he was the one that had John Lasseter. John Lasseter came in and pitched this to him. And John Lasseter came in and he says, I got this story that I want to do about a bad ventriloquist dummy that probably wants to be good. And Jeffrey Katzenberg's like, yo, your mind? What you trying to do? You trying to traumatize these kids of ventriloquist? No. He said, listen.
My studio. No.
Yeah.
All right, R.L. Stein, take it easy.
No, you crazy? Yeah, you know, no, we're not doing that, man. You're trying to make no horror film here, even though. But he says, my vision is for a buddy film. Now, I don't know how you're going to do it, but go back and work on it. And it took them 3 years of committee meetings to do this. They came up with something that, I could count on probably, you know, one hand movies that I consider to be perfect, just 100% without competence, flawless, and this movie is one of them. Because, you know, for one thing, I always tell people this, and this movie shows what I always say, man. And a lot of studios have had to learn this the hard way, because a lot of artists grew up being praised for drawing. Mm-hmm. I hate to say this and put it this harsh, but if you're telling a story and your story's not that good, your characters aren't that compelling, no one's gonna give a shit about your animation. Okay? I just talked about a movie the other day where they need to have a script done, and they were just animating the hell out of this movie. And it's beautiful, gorgeous animation, and it almost killed that studio. Mm-hmm. And you know, when you have this, if it's your story, it's your characters, how emotionally you connect with your audience. It took me back to when I first saw this, and I remember falling in love with this movie before those damn toys even showed up. At least before they showed up like we see them, you know, talking and walking around. You know, because I was already connecting with Andy, and the audience was already connecting with Andy. When that movie starts off, man, Now you want to talk about some nostalgia? The hell with all this Star Wars and Marvel nostalgia and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about true nostalgic childhood, not by a brand, not by a property, not by getting you to buy something. I'm talking about things that remind you of when you were a kid before you even start buying all this bullshit. Sure. You know, and that's what this movie did. The reason why people connected with this movie, the first 5 minutes of it, is because Andy was them. Or they were Andy. Yeah. Or if you're like me, because I didn't grow up a little white boy. You know, if you like me.
But I did.
But you did. you were Andy. No, Andy's crossed, generations. Andy's crossed racial, race. Shit, even to a certain extent, even gender. But yeah, maybe I didn't grow up exactly like Andy, and I kind of did. But Andy, he's so funny, man. Yeah. Andy just had me laughing the way he plays with these toys.
Empty that safe. Money, money, money.
I'm like, man, Andy's cool, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you're an adult, you're like, well, even if I can't see fully myself in Andy, I want a kid like Andy.
His imagination. Yeah. That's what engenders you towards him. And the voice actor, I think, does a great job, too, in all the films that he appears in.
Yeah, shit. There are parents that grew up talking about, how come you can't be more like Andy? Man, I love Andy, man.
He's a good kid, too. He's not a shitty kid.
No, he's not.
No, we see a shitty kid.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it makes you want Andy even more.
Man, there's a...
He's good to his mom.
Oh, he really is. Mm-hmm. He really is. Like, I love the free form way that he plays with his toys. Like a lot of kids, the way they just,
make up their own stories.
Where it's like, freeform consciousness the way they're playing. Mm-hmm. Just making stuff up as they go along. I like when he brought in the dinosaur and even made the little things, man, like the little dog sounds that he makes for when he's playing with Slinky.
I told Peep, or your sheep get run over. Help! Help us! Oh no, not my sheep! Somebody do something!
By the way, Bo Peep, he's not supposed to be playing with. That's his mama's figurine right there.
She does look like porcelain.
Yeah, it does look like porcelain. He ain't supposed to have that. That boy knows better than that.
Yeah, his mom's like, whatever.
Yeah, just take his shit. Your grandmama gave me that shit.
My aunt gave me that. I didn't even ask for it.
Yeah.
The built-in force field. Well, I brought my dinosaur. Police force field dog.
I was like, man, Andy had me laughing so hard at the beginning of the movie. Like I said, if you can't relate to Andy, you can leave. You feel like you can just hang with Andy. Andy's a cool kid, man. And the imagination that went on with this. The imagination that these animators put into this. Let me see if I have this clip right here. I'm looking at some of the. I'm looking at some of the things that they just did with playing with the toys themselves, like some of the visual gags that they did with the toys. And they got and some of them are just, man, they're not they're almost kind of cheesy and corny in a way. They're almost even obvious. But again, just imagine the imagination behind the creative team right here. The animators who took full advantage of the way the toys were built. Mm-hmm. Like I said, some of them seem obvious, and maybe they make it seem obvious. Maybe we wouldn't do that if we were making this movie. But I'm looking at Mr. Potato Head. They mutilated that character so much to this movie. It's little things like that, man.
But they found a lot of stuff to do with Mr. Potato Head. Yeah.
Like I say, they just mutilate his body through this whole thing, man. But then all the toys. What really makes this a joy to watch is that it's almost like the animators or the artists. They were playing with the toys themselves.
Hey, X, draw. Go.
That's when I thought Woody was cool right there. They didn't even get every toy that they wanted, and a lot of people already know this. Like they wanted Barbie and they wanted G.I. Joe, right. And they didn't get in. First of all, with Barbie, I think that's a Mattel toy. Mattel just didn't even give them They didn't even give a reason. They just said no.
They got it later.
Yeah, they got it later, but for this, they said no. But no. Disney, no. No. And then they said, maybe you'll get G.I. Joe. What's your idea for that? Oh, we're going to blow him up. Oh, Oh hell no! Get these people out of my office. Because that's what Sid was gonna blow up an actual G.I. Joe character. Like no, hell no. But that actually made them more creative, man. When they couldn't get G.I. Joe, they were able to get the little army the little army dolls or the little army figurines, the Green Army Man.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of funny things with them.
Hungry! Here comes the chicken. I've got Cool Ranch and barbecue.
What in the world? Oh, I thought I told him to pick these up.
Boy, I looked at that, and that worked probably better than they thought.
Because everybody has stepped on those.
Yes,
everybody stepped on them before. And also, working with the little Green Army Man, like they took advantage of the limitations they had with them, making them walk like that.
Yeah, great idea.
And then when
making them march.
yeah. And then when one of them got stepped on, I was like, they probably even know the metaphor that they're doing. I mean, it's just like real vets.
Yeah.
You know, going out there for the benefit of others, get wounded, and they just get kicked to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I love that idea. I was like, the moment I saw that he was wounded, I was like, man, y'all better take advantage of that joke. And they did. Even if it was predictable, I was like, well, you know what? You came through with everybody, you know, that's one of those jokes where people predict it in the best way. It's not predictable. It's like, that's what you should have done.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like,
it'd be predictable if they did this. Wait, they didn't do it?
yeah, exactly.
Do that.
Exactly.
Go on without me. Just
A good soldier never leaves a man behind.
It's like, man, there's so many clever things going on in here. They have hidden jokes that people haven't caught for years, and still to this day have not, because they didn't bring it up. They didn't say anything. It's back there. If you catch it, that's fine.
Yeah, because they aren't going, huh?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of foreshadowing in this with these jokes that people don't see. There's a really funny joke about a kid who brought a dumb present, and even one of the toys said, "Man, who invited that dumbass to this party?" You remember this? They brought what?
Okay, second present. It appears to be. Okay, it's bed sheets.
Who invited that kid?
Mr. Potato Head, like, I'm about to go ahead and talk to him myself. Brought bed sheets to a party, to a kid's party. But
You know, you think of all the characters, the main characters.
well, hold on. But the thing is, with these bed sheets, man, that's actually some foreshadowing that's going on.
Yeah.
They're like, you might not know it because they're saying, what dumb kid brought the bread sheets to his best friend's party or his friend's party who's a boy. But then you look later on in the movie. And those are probably the sheets that got brought.
Yeah.
Because that's the coolest thing. Well, I love Wood in this scene too.
His
whole
his
world's
expression. But you're like, what? Oh, the
This is like the twist at the end of a horror movie. He's
Yeah.
like, dear God, Jesus, no. It's like some shit, like the end of
We stepped
yeah.
away.
It's like the end of Planet of the Apes or the Wicker Man or something. No, God, no.
Well, his entire life is that room, and it suddenly changes. Yeah.
That's why I can look at this animation and compare it to Asylum and then be like, it's still a perfect film. Because one of the things that a lot of these knockoffs and ripoffs and wannabes, one of the things that they don't do is they don't know how to animate or just don't attempt to animate expressions. Mm-hmm. Like one of the things that you can say about this movie, the animation might not be what it, up to what it is today, but they never let that stop them from going in and trying their best to animate these characters with emotions. There's never a moment here where, every now and then you might get a weird expression, but that's what really sold these characters, man. The voice acting, the acting behind them, and the emotions behind it. And also, again, a great script. That goes to show you how with the right story, directing people the right way, enough great characters, you can surely surpass what limitations that you have. That's why I see so many movies that are done on a low budget. What did they have? They didn't have money, but they had a lot of cleverness. They had a great script, and they had other things there that they did that overcame those limitations.
And you're more willing to, I think, just let the kind of the poor animation or the sloppy animation by the wayside because the story is just so good.
Yeah.
Speaking of, wow, I didn't know how horrified Woody was. Look at him. Dear God, no!
That's another meme.
That is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's happening to him all over.
Yeah.
Jesus God, no! But the movie's clearly dealing with disturbed characters with deep issues, man. And it's played lighthearted enough to where kids don't have to be, they don't have to understand it, they don't have to get it, they can just laugh at it and make fun of it. But once you start getting these characters, man, they got some issues.
Sure. The movie gets deep.
Yeah, Buzz is obviously mentally ill.
He's delusional.
Yeah, he's delusional. He don't know where he is, and he's the equivalent of that guy yelling out in the street about shit that doesn't exist, and we all look at this person like they're crazy. But he's that guy in here. And it's sad, watching it. As when it first came out, and you watch it, it's like, oh my God, I'm wowed by everything that I'm seeing. As a kid, you watch it, it's like, oh, that's funny. As an adult watching this after all of that, I'm like, man, I'm kind of sad for Buzz Lightyear, man.
There has been a bit of a mix-up. This is my spot. See the bed here.
Local law enforcement. That's about time you got here. I'm Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger, Universe Protection Unit.
Buzz is kind of like the Kanye of Toy Story, man.
Because that's a hell of a comparison. I don't think those words have ever been uttered together.
I would tell you why, because he's obviously disturbed. He's delusional, but he has all these enablers around him.
All these fans.
He has all these
fanboys.
He's got all these. He's got all these fans around him, man, that just cheer him on no matter what he does.
To infinity.
This is where he was told that he argues, yes, I can fly. I don't give a damn what you say, cowboy. Yeah, you don't know me, man. Here, I'll prove it to you. And of course, things just worked out that will let him seem like he's flying, and everybody just cheering his ass. Oh my God, you're awesome.
And beyond.
Just encouraging his craziness.
I love that scene where Buzz finally lands. He's like, Jesus, I did it. Like he was blinking really fast. I'm alive.
He's in such disbelief. Those eyes are everywhere. Look at him. He got fish. He's having a mental breakdown right now.
I proved you wrong. I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
You asshole. What do you think of that, huh? She looked like me after some parts. Their eyes just going all over the place, man. Them chameleon eyes.
But it's just a great premise that, in a movie that is about toys, and you have a toy that doesn't realize it is one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, what are the ramifications of that? How would that play out? Mm-hmm. And that's always kind of been a part of the Toy Story series in general. By the time we get to like something like Toy Story 4, when he's like, okay, I'm kind of done being a toy. I want something different.
Sure.
It shows you. They have all these great mature ideas throughout all these stories.
And Woody's got some problems too, and we're gonna get into Woody's problems. But before we get into that, Woody, you can understand after a while Woody's frustrations with Buzz.
They walked a great line to where, in the hands of lesser writers, Woody would have just been the villain of this whole thing.
Yeah.
You'd be like, Woody's an asshole. He's got to go. But they set him up to where you like him at first, and when he starts taking a dark turn, you're still like, but I see where he's coming from. You never stop identifying with him, and especially the longer this goes on, the more you feel his frustration.
No, I feel bad for Woody because everybody's sitting around talking about this guy's great, and Woody just sees the bullshit for what it is, man.
Right now, poised at the edge of the galaxy, Emperor Zurg has been secretly building a weapon. You are a toy!
God damn it! I mean, Woody wasn't exactly perfect in this movie either, but I was like, God, I get it, man.
Yeah.
That's why it really hits when Buzz finds out that that it's been true this whole time. It really up his mind, man, because he's ill. It's not like he's trying to hurt anybody. It's not like he's like I know my truth.
It's his Planet of the Apes moment.
Yeah. It is.
It's realization.
Shit, I know what I know what I see. The rest of y'all are I know. Hey, I know I'm real. Which is why it really made it mess my mind up looking at it the second time where
you feel completely sad for him.
His world crashed.
Literally.
In seconds.
Buzz Lightyear, the world's greatest superhero, now the world's greatest toy! To infinity and beyond!
Not a flying toy.
Get your
What?
It's perfect. That's exactly how toy commercials were at the time.
That's the one that got him. Shit.
That one eye. He's malfunctioning. He's breaking.
That's the one that got him. Was said not a flying toy. He's like, but shit, I flew. What you mean? No. That's the one that got him right there, and that's the one that really shook me. And I said, man, you know, and a lot of people, because that commercial pretty said, you ain't shit and you never were.
Right.
Sorry to break it to you, Buzz.
Like you.
Yeah. But
you ain't special.
And the thing about this is that many have seen this as, and I kind of see this, as someone who finally found probably help, got grounded, and just found reality too much to bear. It's like, now
there's a psychotic break.
Yeah. Can you imagine going and getting the help that people told you to get, and you came back and realized you ain't shit? The world is not a better place, but a worse place for you. And another thing that people looked at this is, they say this, man, this is probably a harsh lesson for adults who saw this. This is the dawning of the realization that you are no one. You've never been no one. You were not going to achieve your dreams. No one's going to remember you. And you're just a bum like everybody else. Woody might have a better grasp on reality, you know, as far as reality can go with talking animals and dogs and toys and whatnot. But, you know, because I always looked at Woody. Because I remember the movie and thinking, since I hadn't seen it in years, Woody was always the leader, man. Woody was always the one that had things under control. He was put in that position for a reason. And now I look at it like, damn, Woody might not be as deranged or delusional or mentally ill as Buzz Lightyear, but he is way insecure.
Yes.
Oh, very much so. Well, the thing is, like, he's been there for years. He's gotten to see what happens to the toys that aren't the favorite. He's been the favorite. He's gotten comfortable in that position. Hey, he's the leader. Everybody comes to him, but he didn't realize how tenaciously he was clinging to that identity.
Well, before Buzz even gets there, Woody's kind of pushy, man. Woody's just kind of an asshole.
He's controlling.
Yeah, he's a little controlling. Like, they let him run things for a while, and now he's just instead of probably being the leader that he was when he first got in there, now he's just telling people what they need to do and not being very nice about it.
A moving buddy. You don't have one? Get one. All right, next.
I'm like, damn, people skills, man. Come on. You know, Woody is kind of, the more you look at him, it's like you let this position get to your head, man. And when Buzz shows up, that's when that's when the real Woody really starts to come out. I don't think it was Buzz that was doing that to him. Woody just gets downright, he just gets downright mean and loves to take it out on Slinky.
Bob, howdy. Oh, shut up.
Like, who the hell are you talking to, man?
Why would you say that to me? I thought we're friends.
Somebody said Woody is Corey. Yeah? That just means I know what I'm talking about.
I didn't want to say anything. Because I'm like, Corey's like, and I really identify with him. Like, I wonder why.
Woody's an all right guy. Woody, you know, if they just listen to Woody, man.
He tells it like it is.
He tells it like it is. Everybody is kissing up to Buzz, but Woody just loves to take it out on Slinky for some reason. Get your ass out of here. All he had to do was move. He didn't have to knock his ass off the bed like that.
That's a spot, Corey. That was Woody's spot.
He was sitting there first.
I mean, you know, I would have done it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Let that be Martin or Chris. Man, get your ass off my spot.
Wait, no!
You ain't gotta be that subservient to humans, to where it almost gets you killed.
What else they gonna do?
Well, there are moments where they choose where they want to come alive, and then sometimes they come alive at points where somebody would definitely rat them out. But then there's other moments where they come alive, and I'm like, you could have ran for your life right then and there. Nobody would have said shit. It's that moment like at the gas station. Let me see here. Yeah, it's that moment at the gas station where do you remember when Woody almost gets run over by a truck?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Here it is. Is this it? I think this is it right here.
Doesn't he realize that I'm not there? No! I'm lost!
Buzz Lightyear.
And by the way, somebody sees y'all asses out there in that light. But let me see here. Here it is. Like at this point, the driver can't see you. You can't roll out the way. Because it's not like y'all have to freeze when humans see you. They've already proven that. I think still a perfect movie because that's something that doesn't need to be answered right there. It's a small detail, but it's just something where I'd be that guy in the story meeting being like, well, that doesn't. Everybody be like, shut the f- man.
I interpret that scene where it's like, well, he's never been outside the house before. That's his domain. It's where he's comfortable, and so he's just used to going. Anytime a person shows up, dead, and so that's why he does it there. That is his natural reaction. Where Buzz, who doesn't realize he's a toy at this point, he's like, I don't want to be crushed by this.
No, I can see that. Like I said, it's nothing.
No, I mean,
people gonna be like, oh man, what? I said this is a perfect movie. That's just one of the things I had questions about right there.
I like your answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't.
I came in here with a problem with that. I'm just leaving with a problem with that.
You know what? Yeah, you know what, Chris? Take that answer. Get off my
Point of view. It's Martin scratching my chest. Yeah. Good answer, Chris.
Yeah. And this is me.
Shut up.
He starts getting a little more extreme as Buzz sticks around.
Oh, yeah.
Because
when he tries to murder him.
Yeah, he tries to kill him. Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you. Well, first of all, because before we even get to that point, I think it doesn't help that these toys him.
Oh yeah.
Like,
sure.
like once Buzz shows up, they just kind of just stop respecting Woody.
Hey, who's got my hat?
Look, I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Give me that.
That's why you slap him with it.
Yeah. Fuck was talking to you anyway.
Asshole shark. Well, I feel like
I'll tell you, Buzz. Before Buzz came up, that shark never would have done that.
No, that's true.
This man has been knocked down from being the favorite, reduced from being respected to being mocked, and it's at a point now where he can't take it anymore. And now he sees I have no choice. If this man won't leave, I'll have to make him leave.
Hey,
and that means when the mafia is saying something like that, that means murder.
It's a Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. No, he's like if he don't want to go, old Woody just have to make him go. I love the way they gave him murder eyes too. Because he said, I ain't trying to murder no one. Shit, looking at those eyes, that's a different. Look, oh, bullshit.
Just down there, a helpless toy. He's trapped. He's there. He's
He's looking like, yes. Yeah.
So close.
So wait, everybody can see me.
Yeah, he's not shocked. He's like, yeah, closer. I love that we have these extreme emotions here, man. One dude's mentally ill, one dude's driven to kill somebody who's
his rival.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Shakespearean.
Yeah. There's also this thing of again, I ain't trying to justify Buzz committing murder at all.
You mean Woody?
I mean Woody. I'm not justifying Woody committing murder at all, even though toys I'm talking about. But I do see how this is driving him insane, man. I mean, especially today, because with the world being what it is today, Woody really is a man who's seeing through the bullshit, and nobody's listening to him. You know what you got here? This is very equivalent to what was happening today. You got a phony, you got a charlatan, a con man, or a woman, or somebody who's insane, who is in a powerful position or a position of influence, and you're like, why is everybody following this person? Mm-hmm. Why is everybody listening to this person? And Woody has to deal with that, man. Woody has to watch, even knowing that Buzz is full of shit, he has to sit back and watch everybody fall for this act. son of a bitch. I got a little hand.
I'm just like, girl, you're gonna look beautiful after this. Look at that with those
he
stereotypes.
does everything.
He's great. He's Renaissance man. Renaissance toy.
As far as the people concerned, he can fly, he can lead, he's handsome, he's charismatic, and girl, he can do a hairdo. You know, I mean, this man is amazing. He can open up his own salon.
Yeah, he can't do that.
But the guy's a phony. You know, he's ill, and everybody.
He doesn't know that. He doesn't know.
When he's like, I don't go around kissing everybody's ass like this.
Yeah, you know, it's more than just listening to me. The mother insane. Can't y'all see that? And meanwhile, driving him crazy.
Yeah, and like, Woody, we getting tired of your bullshit.
Yeah.
Go on somewhere with that. You just jealous.
Yeah, you know,
that aside.
he's telling people straight up, this man is, he's a danger because he's ill and y'all are just buying his bullshit. And y'all are jumping on me for, what, attempted murder?
Potato Head! That's Mr. Potato Head to you, you backstabbing murderer.
Now, it was an accident, guys. Come on.
You are an absolute disgrace.
See, that's the kind of shit that made him insane. Everybody's against him.
But he did do wrong.
He did.
That was them messing with him before then. Before that murder, everybody was on his ass like that.
Hey, man, I get his frustration, but what he did with that car, that was a step too far.
Yeah, that was the wrong
If they had listened to him before.
No.
If they had just listened. He's
no
trying to help.
for attempted murder.
No, there is. Shit, maybe I would have.
There's a reason why I did that.
I'm going to tell you why. Woody didn't do this completely out of jealousy. He did a little bit. But the other part of him said also, if this guy's going to continue to do this, he's a danger. He's going to be a danger to us all. And if nobody will listen, I have to take care of this.
He's going to be a danger to my position.
Mm-hmm.
And, auxiliary, probably everybody else. Woody was more focused on himself.
His selfish desire. Yeah.
But as long as it was a part of it.
Trying to make an excuse for it.
Why can't he save his position and everybody at the same time?
He can, but not with murder.
Hey, man.
There's nothing you could say that excuses that.
Does Putin need to die?
Yeah, probably.
He needs to not be in the position he's in.
No, does he need to die?
He needs to go away.
If he won't go away.
I love that we're comparing Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
If he, you can't answer it.
You
can't do it. I can, and I will.
It is not the same.
I will do that.
It is not the same.
Now, if Putin won't go, if a leader won't go that's causing shit, what needs to happen?
This is not even the same.
You've said even one day yourself, you said they need to go.
Mark, it's a slippery slope.
Yes, go is walk away.
I'm not saying you should do this, but if you were putting the greater good in danger, you might need to go. Innocent toys will die because of Buzz.
Get rid of Putin so that you can be the new Putin.
No, I'm saying get rid of Putin so that we can get his ass out the way and bring in a little peace and somebody more responsible.
And how are we getting rid of Putin?
Kill him.
So we're getting rid of Putin to bring in a murderer.
He's not a murderer. He's not a murderer. Hey, listen. If you take
gymnastics here.
If somebody took out Hitler. Oh, let's take Saddam. What is it? Not Saddam Hussein, but Osama bin Laden. Okay. Osama bin Laden had to go. The person that put a bullet in Osama bin Laden's head he's not a murderer.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Well, I mean, he is, but do you disagree with him?
I mean, you could say it was war, but I mean, once bin Laden was captured, there was not a reason to kill him, actually. He could have come and served.
Actually, they didn't capture him. They went in and put a bullet in his head because he was acting a fool. That's the only way to get him out. They didn't capture him.
Be that as it may, because he was probably trying to kill them. That's something different. That's not murder at that point.
I'm going to say, if you were putting the greater good in danger, and you were possibly putting people at risk and people dying,
ain't nobody died. The toys, nobody has died. Man, the only death was coming from Woody trying to kill Buzz.
Preventative measures.
that's what Vladimir Putin says. Preventative measures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's your slippery
Now, one day,
slope right there.
and I want y'all to look at this and mark this day. One day you're gonna look at somebody, you're gonna say, that character has to go. You're gonna say this.
I say it all the time.
Yeah, we always say it.
But I don't mean that they necessarily need to have a bullet put
It's
in
gonna
their
be,
brain.
you're gonna say that person, that character, and I'm not talking about somebody in real life. You're gonna look at a character that has not killed anyone, but it's gonna be some zombie movie, it's gonna be some action movie, and it's gonna be somebody that's putting people in danger because they're acting a fool.
Mm-hmm.
And you, Martin Thomas, you out there, Toasties, and yes, even you.
Hey, I don't have an opinion.
You, Vanisphere, all of you will say at one time, you will say, man, that character right there, I like this show, I like this movie, but that character need to go. And by go, you mean dead. And I want y'all to remember that day as we talk about Woody here today. Y'all remember that now. I like the way people take this shit seriously. I like the way people like, man, you need to be cool, man. Come on, man. That toy he's a murderer, man. You know it. That mother guilty.
He got away with it.
Man,
He went to the Netflix documentary.
Yeah, he got away with it, man. And all these Toy Stories that never got brought back up there when tried to murder somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love the people out there like, no, man, you the back knuckle. There ain't nobody being serious. You know, it's also, man, this whole thing. I love how they touched on everything. Like talking about cults that are out there, man. You know, that whole scene is hilarious. That got the biggest laugh out of me in the theater with the aliens and the claw. But I was, man. But it's disturbing too.
It is, of course.
They're just a bunch of sad cult members, man, who don't know any better because they haven't seen anything else.
Who's in charge here?
Woody's like,
Claw's our master. Claw chooses who will go and who will stay.
this is ludicrous. This whole world is crazy.
That's a great line read.
Love that. He thought, because everybody's thinking that some people are, you know, unless you're a cult member or a cult-minded person. But yeah, no, it is ludicrous. No, it's sad and it's ludicrous, man. And see, again, this is what I'm talking about. Woody sees through the bullshit.
He does. He's seen too much.
Woody sees through the bullshit. They drove Woody to what he's doing. He's surrounded by bullshit. Themes get darker, man, during the second half, of course. You know, they genre swap at this point. It becomes a small thriller or horror parody at that point.
Cronenberg movie at one point.
Yeah. Sid is probably the sadistic next door neighbor that destroys toys. He's probably the most disturbing Pixar character, man, that I've seen. And I tell you why. Because you know he's the character that likes to not just torture toys, but just he looks forward to, like, he orders explosives just to blow them up.
He's lighting it! Get the dirt!
And he takes delight in it, man. He lives for that. Sets his alarm to it to blow these things up, man. I tell you, the thing with Sid, the reason why I talk about Sid is the most disturbing, because any kid that loves, I don't care if it's toys, if they love destroying things that much, that's a future serial killer, man.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I talk about, you know, him killing toys. He didn't really kill them. You know, toys, they can come back to life, I'm sure, if they want to. But
that toy's dead.
Yeah, but
that one's dead.
Well, they found the head. They can do something with that.
Make one of his Frankenstein creatures.
Because that's the thing. If you got that thing, as long as you keep the head, maybe, kill the head, kill the toy. But yes, he might not kill them all, but he mutilates the out those toys. That's one of my favorite gags in the movie. Yeah. This damn near turns into a monster movie at this point.
Yeah.
Freaks. Yeah, man. Sid is. I'm surprised they got away with as much as they did with Sid, man. Because Sid is truly a disturbing kid, man. He not only does that to toys, but the way he treats other people, like his sister, man. He really goes in and treats his sister really bad in just really horrible ways, like stealing her toys to make other abominations out of them.
Waste no time.
Oh no, Hannah!
What?
Look, Janie!
Hey!
She's sick!
No, she's not!
To perform one of my operations!
And uses them, like, it's not enough to just steal her toys, but he uses them to torment back at her.
Jeannie's all better now.
This poor kid she's been so tormented. Like, this girl is probably what, like 8 years old?
Yeah.
Going on 45? She's like a 45-year-old woman, man.
Emotionally, psychologically, yes. Yeah.
It's taking a physical toll on her.
Yeah, I always felt bad for her character.
I did too. Wasn't it Hannah? Yeah, I feel terrible for Hannah, man. And then they go on to like, because at some point, you've seen the movie, Sid gets his comeuppance because he has to. There's a kid's movie, really, or a family movie. But it doesn't stop them from getting any darker with the horror references here. At some point, it turns into like a possessed satanic doll movie / zombie flick.
That's right. I'm talking to you, Sid.
Shit, I remember watching this in the theater and thought they were actually going to kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, that was this big exaggeration, but I thought, like, shit, I wouldn't be surprised they tore his ass apart.
Well, it's like childhood.
Yeah.
Rip his head off.
I thought they were going to scalp his ass, man. But I, again, love the references that, because Sid is such a horrible person, you kind of have to ante up the horror here just to get back at him.
Well, it's such a, if they kill him.
Can see everything.
So play nice.
Like that whole Exorcist reference right there.
Traumatized.
Yeah, good. Does Sid come back?
He does. In Toy Story 3, he's the garbage man.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you see him. He has the shirt and everything.
Yeah, and the toys like scare him again or something, right? Or do they?
No, he's fine. He got his life together.
There's more clever adult humor that goes on that part too, man. Like, I don't know how true this is, but I read somewhere that one of the toys, that toy with those fine ass legs, you can kind of see, I guess, her
fish
hook right there. They say once you look at what that toy actually does, they say that that's a hooker. That's the in joke right there.
That's fine.
Yeah, they say, yeah, you see she goes around hooking on everything. So, yeah, they say, yeah, with the fine legs and the actual hooker. Which someone would pay for that. For sure. But after that, the movie continues to genre hop, man. And I'm about to wrap up the review, but I'll just, unless you guys bring something to it. But once they leave that part, they go into like this. I love that climax. That climax, that action.
Oh yeah.
That action car chase climax that they do, which it really worked well, man. This movie does so much. I mean, not just with the story, but with the characters. Again, the technology that they're pushing. It does so much, and somehow it manages to balance all of it out. That's why I love this film so much, man.
Hey, it's what happens when you take time to write a script.
Years.
Yeah, years. 3 years, man. That's why you see some first-time directors and writers, like their first project is amazing. And after that, they didn't do so well. That's because they probably spent years thinking of that story, working on that project. Yeah, man. I always complain about movies being done by committee. But there's so many good ideas there. I almost think that it needed that committee to come up with this. This is a shining example of how far great storytelling and characters will get you, as I said earlier, man. And I still, despite, we went through the technology, we went through some of the gags, we went through how this is so deep in many ways. All that stuff, just maybe the technology doesn't last, but what technology does,
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I say, what you look at now, 5 years from now, will look weak too.
Yeah, but good stories always last.
Mm-hmm.
They last forever, man. As far as we can keep them going, and that's what this does.
This is a medium-defining film where it changed animation. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Before it was all 2D animated movies, and whether it was good or bad, or because we don't get as many 2D animated movies anymore, the fact that this was a trendsetter, the fact that now when we think about American cinematic animation, it is 3D animated films, and that wouldn't probably be like it is now without the original Toy Story.
It's the writing, I think, is even more groundbreaking because it set this new bar for what we expect from films like this.
Yeah.
Because at the time it came out, it's like, well, it's going to look pretty. It looks pretty. Oh, it's these toys.
Yeah.
And then the more it went on, you're like, you leave the theater, kind of changed. Like, wow, what just happened?
All right, y'all. Well, there you go. To simply answer the question, it was fun reminiscing with Toy Story. Love going into details about certain things. It was a joy to watch this again. But to simply answer your question, does it still hold up? You damn right it does.
Hell yeah.
Most of it does.
Shit, it holds up better than some movies with better technology than this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.